Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mumcott Ranch and Homestead. My name is Patience, and I'm happy to have you guys here today. Today is kind of a bittersweet day. We are actually going to be pulling a lot of our vegetable plants from the garden and kind of just tidying things up and wrapping things up for the season. It is the beginning of September. Our last frost date is the end of September. We have had quite a bit of cool weather for the last few weeks. This week is actually pretty hot. But then after, another day or so, we're going to be dropping back down into the low 70s, high 60s. So with that being said, a lot of our vegetables in the garden have kind of hit their max production and ready just to kind of lay the garden to rest. We do have a few things that we are leaving in here. As for example, the pumpkins, they are staying in here. The tomatoes are still producing. We have a lot of tomatoes on the vine that just have not turned yet, so we are going to leave those. And along with the jalapeno peppers. I don't have great faith in the jalapenos, and not that they're not budding, because they are. There's a lot of flowers on there. There's a lot of small peppers on there as well. It's just that jalapenos really love the heat, and we're just not going to be getting much more of that moving forward into the fall season. So we're just going to go ahead and see what kind of peppers we have on there now. I'm not even really quite sure there's enough to even can anything with. I was hoping to do some cowboy candy this year and pickle some jalapenos, but I just don't think there's going to be enough in enough time. In the beginning of the season, we had planted them, and we actually planted a little bit later because we did have cooler weather and frost a little bit longer than what we are used to. So it did prolong getting the vegetables in the garden. So live and learn, and sometimes seasons vary from year to year. You'll have one great year, and then there's a year that just didn't do so well. We've had a lot of pros and cons in this garden, but it is what it is. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is just kind of pulling things out that need to be pulled out. I've already done the cucumbers. I'm working on the spaghetti squash, or excuse me, not the spaghetti squash, the yellow squash, and the zucchini. And let's see what else we're going to be pulling. Pretty much that's it, actually. I have bell peppers that are done, so we're going to pull the bell peppers. Going to finish off the squash. I do have an update on the eggplant as well, so I'll go ahead and show you that, and the sunflowers. So first, let's go ahead and I'm just going to go around and finish cleaning some stuff up. It's already starting to look bare. All right, let's go over and take care of these bell peppers and see what kind of bell peppers we have left. Not a bad little bit left of peppers. Let me go ahead and show you what we have for our jalapenos. All right, so actually this is my horse's grain thing I just grabbed. I was feeding them this morning, and I don't even think I'm gonna get this thing full. There's some decent sized ones, but there's really not even a lot on here. There's some that are pretty small. This one's pretty decent. As you can see, there's still buds happening on these. We're just not going to have a long enough growing season for them to even do anything or produce. Okay, so I think I'm actually changing my mind on these jalapeno peppers. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to harvest as much of the jalapenos that I can, big or small, and then also just pull them. I hate to do it, but with the lower temperatures coming up, I just don't foresee them really getting much bigger. I've been out here, you know, I come out here every day when I'm out here feeding the goats, and I come around and walk around the garden, and even the ones I have started, they really haven't had a whole lot of growth on them. And again, it has to do with their climate. They love sun, they love the heat, and we just haven't had a lot of it. And we're not going to anymore. I don't really think. I think we're kind of just in the end. So what I think I want to do is I think I'm just going to pull all the jalapenos that I can, pull the plants up, and whatever I have, I'll make something with. But we can also go to like our local farmers market, and you know, get more jalapenos, because that is something that I do want to stock up on. I really do like jalapenos. So it's kind of a bummer, but we never look forward to the cooler seasons. And one thing that I did want to say too is, you know, when the garden season wraps up for us, we turn and start working on winter and fall prep. You know, it's that time of season where now we have to start splitting and stacking wood. That's our main source of heat. So, you know, we just have to turn our tables a little bit and focus on really putting our energy into preparing for the winter seasons. Right now we have all of our animals outside, so we do like to also prep the barn, which we have done a good majority of so far, but we still have a little bit more to do with that. So getting our stalls ready, putting up our hay racks, everything that we have to for the animals, so when the bad weather does come, you know, we have that preparation just to move them into the barn. So unfortunately, I do believe that the garden season is coming to a close, which is a bummer. But again, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet because, you know, we work so hard throughout the whole summer season and spring season to prepare for this. Whether we do get a lot of vegetables or we don't get a lot of vegetables, but at least that we're growing something. It's keeping our minds and our bodies healthy being out here. Spending time in the garden, so I really do enjoy it. I'm kind of bummed that it's coming to an end, but my mind has been a lot of focus on the winter prep. So we have a lot of wood to cut this season. We haven't even really started. We have a little bit left over from last year, so, but that's okay. It's okay. We still have our tomatoes out here. We still have our pumpkins out here. We have our sunflowers out here, so it's not like we're not going to be out here. Helen, we're still going to come out every day. Yep. Alright guys, let's get back to these jalapenos. We could go pick some jalapenos. Are you sad too that the garden is closing? Yeah. Alright, let's get to it. filling up. I'm actually very surprised. These look good. I don't think this is a pretty bad harvest just for today and getting close to the end of the season. I did pick some green tomatoes. My husband and I do like fried green tomatoes, so that is something that we'll be having in the next day or so. Let's go ahead and give you a quick tour of everything. This is just one of our beds. This is where I'm going to be planting my garlic in the fall, or horseradish. Again, super excited to harvest that this year. Here is our little cherry tomatoes. You guys, oh, look at this one. This is like fused together. Do you see that? That is funny. This is the tomato that we picked out of our pig garden. It is doing very well. Hopefully, sorry about the sun, guys. Hopefully you guys can see. This is also a tomato plant that we picked out of the pig garden as well. Some decent sized tomatoes happening. I actually think I did see. Look at all these aromas. Oops. Oh no. Missed that one. What we got down here? Oh, another little spot, but you can definitely cut that out. It's a nice one. So moving on, this is another one that we got out of the pig pasture. A couple pumpkins. This one's doing pretty good. Look at the size of that guy. It's gonna be big. Have our acorn squash. Let's check on these. Oh. Well, that one came off, but I would like it a little bit more orange, but that's okay. We have another little one here. And another little one hiding right in there. Alright, let me go ahead and show you guys the eggplant. I only have one plant, I think, that's doing anything. But look! Isn't that cute? We finally are getting eggplant. I'm surprised how long it takes. But none of the other plants, I think this one does have a small one started here. But the others, this one died. This one still has a flower on it. Not quite sure if it'll do anything, but this one is the biggest one, and I did not see anything. I mean, there's a flower, but nothing on this one. Look at that sunflower. Oh, it's finally starting to. It was not like this yesterday. Look at that. How pretty. This thing is huge. Look at the stem on this thing. This thing is massive. We have a sunflower down there that opened up. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love it. We have another one over here. Super pretty. I'm super happy with that. Look how massive that thing is. The thing is, if I'm able to, I will post a picture that we took the other night with my husband. He was standing next to it, and he's 6 foot. This thing like towers him. So here's one of our pumpkins. I'm not really quite sure what happened here and why it turned like that. Do you guys know why it would do that? I don't even know if it's going to actually end up turning orange all the way, but weeds, weeds, weeds. Look at this massive pumpkin. That looks awesome. Not a lot of pumpkins like I had last year either. There's this pretty big pumpkin. But yeah, we're getting close to the end. Let me go ahead and I'll show you this other sunflower that we have up here. And then we'll go ahead and check out the other pumpkin patch that we have. Isn't this thing beautiful? So pretty. Here's one beautiful pumpkin. You may not be able to see because it is quite, but we do have a few in here as well, back there. We have 3 here, 1 back there. This one's starting to turn orange. We have a bunch of hidden ones over there. So we were out here the other day and I was in there counting. And we have 20 pumpkins in there. I cannot believe it. That is doing a lot better than the one I planted in my garden. Now we know for next year that may be an option to just get a compost pile, put it like in a different area and just use that for the pumpkins. We do have a compost pile way out back as well, and there is about 2 good-sized pumpkins there too that are growing, but we'll go ahead and check on those a different day. We have to go through like 2 or 3 different gates, and then with the goats, and then the goats like to try to escape, and it's a mess. So, alright guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and try to tackle this tomato bed. I'm not really quite sure how we'll do. This thing is like a jungle. I definitely see the perks in pruning, and I kind of wish I had done that more and kept up on it more throughout the season, because now it's just a complete mess and everything's tipping over because it's so top heavy. But you know, it's another lesson learned. Always learning every year. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this morning. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day, and please think about subscribing and liking our videos. Bye guys.